What's good, y'all? This is a 420 Goonie, just chilling here on this late night, and I have a DVD review right here. This is for TNA No Surrender 2005. Before I run down the show, I'd like to talk about the DVD itself for a minute. Now, for those of you that have ever looked this DVD up over the last couple of years, you probably know that it's kind of hard to come by, it's a little rare. If you do find an original copy of this online, it's going to cost you a pretty penny. So when I saw this on Shop TNA, I told myself I have to get this DVD. It's classic, you know, just for some reason I'm really fascinated with this year. And, you know, I got this DVD, and it didn't take long before I realized that this DVD is not the one that I originally owned, you know, a couple of years ago. This is a recreation with some changes made in it. Now, you know, the first thing you see when you turn this DVD on is, well, I don't know if it's the first, but, you know, the advertisements before you get to the title screen are of Impact Wrestling, you know, some newer stuff from 2013. I don't have a problem with advertising the new stuff, but it's definitely a change. It's definitely letting you know that this isn't the same DVD that you know, you might fork $100 over for somewhere else. And another difference is the title menu. You know, just different music, different you know, different menu, of course, like I just said. And there's no pre-show. In the original DVD, there is a pre-show. I remember it. There's Jarrell Clark takes on Shocker in the pre-show, and you know, they just don't have it here. Jeff Jarrett cuts a promo talking about how Rhino's in the building, and that's a big story throughout the night. Jeff Jarrett's not on the card, by the way, but you know, so you missed the pre-show, and there is some audio difficulties during the main event, but I guess I'll talk about that during the main event. Now. Let's just get into the show. The opening match of the night, you have America's Most Wanted taking on Matt Bentley and Alex Shelley. Now, I like the booking of this match because you kind of kill two birds with one stone. You have all the other tag teams like Team Canada, you know, they're in another match. The Naturals, they're in another match. 3 Live Crew, they're in another match. So, you know, just to get America's Most Wanted on the card, and you also get some X Division talent on the, you know, card too. So you get Matt Bentley and Alex Shelley. They worked well as a tag team. On paper, you might not think that America's Most Wanted could work well with this tag team of Matt Bentley and Alex Shelley, but it was actually a good tag team match. Something that was really cool about the match, Mike Tenay pointed out, was how you know, who's going to be the first person to hit their super kick? Is it going to be James Storm or Matt Bentley? Because both of them were proficient in that move at that time. And James Storm ended up hitting the super kick on Alex Shelley and picking up the victory for America's Most Wanted. So good for them to get a tag team victory on a pay-per-view. That looks good for them heading into, you know, I guess their, you know, inevitable tag team title reign, which would be a couple months later. I don't even know if it's relevant, but you know what I mean. After that, there's a backstage segment, which I think is really important for this time. You know, they have Team Canada hyping up, you know, just their matches later on in the night. You know, Petey Williams, Team Canada, you know, doing their thing. And you have Jeff Jarrett, who's looking for Rhino because he knows Rhino's in the building. And, you know, one of my favorite stories, I think, in wrestling, I mean, I don't mean to overrate this or blow it up too much, but just Jeff Jarrett talking about how in TNA there's going to be a lot of new guys that are going to be hired and a lot of people that are going to be fired, and so everyone's got to watch their backs. They got to do what they can to survive out here because, you know, TNA is going to be making a lot of new acquisitions, and you know, that's a real storyline right there. I thought that was really cool. So you know, Jeff Jarrett talking about how he could lose his job and stuff, and you know, he'd be doing that in front of the crowd. He'd be doing that to Monty Brown backstage. He'd be doing that to Mike Tenay in the ring, and it was just a cool story at the time. You know, one of the few times you're going to hear me say some nice things about Jeff Jarrett right there. Next up, second match of the night, you have a Fatal 4-Way X Division match. Shark Boy, Sanjay Dutt, Elix Skipper, and Mikey Batts. This match was nothing significant, no storyline, nothing crazy behind it. It was cool, though, to see Sanjay Dutt pick up a pay-per-view victory. You know, I can't remember too many times that he has, you know, won a pay-per-view match on TNA. He hit his, it's like his Hindu press, it's like a Phoenix Splash or whatever, but he landed like right on Mikey Batts' face. He messed him up and he picked up the victory, so it was cool right there, but the match was nothing special. Next up, tag team match, Simon Diamond teaming up with David Young to take on Sonny Siaki and Apollo. Sonny Siaki and Apollo are actually, Sonny Siaki, he was a former X Division champion, but him and Apollo were a couple of guys that would get cut from TNA just because, you know, they got a lot of, you know, when they got Christian coming in, when they got, you know, all these big names coming in and whatnot, there's just no room for these older guys that aren't really, you know, causing a stir around here. And you know, they had their match with Simon Diamond and David Young, and it wasn't a good match, but I kind of like the story, how Simon Diamond was putting together the diamonds in the rough, how he got David Young, because this guy hadn't won a match in like a year, and then he got, not too long after this, primetime Elix Skipper, So, they had their little stable, they had their little thing, but they never really went on to do anything significant. The match was kind of whack, but Sonny Siaki and Apollo won this one, so I'm not going to talk much more about it, anymore about it. How about that? Next up, the first good singles match of the night, Samoa Joe going one-on-one with Chris Sabin. Now, this is Samoa Joe's first month in TNA. I think this might be his second pay-per-view, third, right around there. This is real close to his debut, and he looks real strong. And this was a real strong, stiff match with Chris Sabin. Sabin looked real good in there, able to sell his shots really good. Just Sabin was able to hit his a lot of offense himself, and I just felt like they were able to put on a good match. I'd really like to see a rematch from them in ROH, PWG, even TNA. If anybody knows of one and you're listening right now, please let me know of a rematch between Chris Sabin and Samoa Joe one-on-one. I think that'd be awesome. But this match right here was still good. I mean, they got 15 minutes, and Samoa Joe dominated for most of it, but I still liked how Chris Sabin was still able to establish a little bit of offense himself. Joe hit the muscle buster, hit the choke, and was able to pick up a win. So looked good for him right there, able to continue his undefeated streak. I really liked how Joe was booked in 2005. Next up, Team Canada taking on the Naturals and Lance Hoyt. Now, like any other TNA pay-per-view, Lance Hoyt was over as hell. They all the people in the crowd had signs for him. Just 2005, crazy over. Not so much 2007 or 8 or whatever. When I think he was with Jimmy Rave, or I think he was with Christy Hemme doing some things. I don't know too much about all that. I don't want to talk about that. But Team Canada, they were doing the good heel work. They were distracting the referee. They were big, and they were big heels back then. Because they were feuding with not only the Naturals but America's Most Wanted. And I don't remember if it was Sacrifice or Unbreakable, but you'd see an 8-man tag match of I think it was Unbreakable, of Team Canada taking on the Naturals and America's Most Wanted. So that's kind of cool seeing them together. It made a really cool story for the Naturals and America's Most Wanted for the tag team titles. But they weren't in that match right here. But who was it? Someone in Team Canada, I forget. They used Jimmy Hart's megaphone, and they were able to pick up the victory over the Naturals and Lance Hoyt. So it was a cool match right there. Nothing too crazy. Next up, the last whack match of the night. 3 Live Crew taking on Monty Brown and Kip James. Now, Kip James had been in TNA for a couple of months now, and this is the first time that he has a name announced. Kip James. Before, I think at Lockdown 2005, he went by The Outlaw, and they actually had to censor that out when Dusty Rhodes said it and announced his name, because I think WWE has some kind of ownership over the name, especially with those guys saying it. But the match was just whack. I didn't really like the story with 3 Live Crew and adding Kip James, doing the 4 Live Crew. I just, with Conan and everything like that, I wasn't a big fan of everything like that. Who was it? Monty Brown and Kip James won the match, and afterwards, they had a what was it? A New Age Outlaws chant, because BG James and Kip James were kind of face to face, making eye contact, and it was a cool moment right there. But I just really didn't like the way they handled 3 Live Crew back then. So, but they had a lot of talent at that time, so I guess I really don't have a lot of say on that. Next up, awesome match right here. AJ Styles going one-on-one with Sean Waltman. A lot of you might know him as X-Pac. Awesome match right here. The special guest referee was Jerry Lynn, and I think Jerry Lynn had been out for the last year from a shoulder injury. He took I forget Chris Sabin's finisher, the shock something. I don't know. He gets him up on his shoulders and drops him, but he drops Jerry Lynn right on his shoulder and bang, real hard. And so this is his first show back, and he was the special guest referee. And just really good action right here. This is like a X Division dream match right here. These guys went 15 minutes. You got to see both of their tope atomicos, where AJ Styles would do his, where he'd hit the ropes and then just jump and just fly over the top rope and hit it. And then you'd see Sean Waltman, going back to his 1, 2, 3 kid days, where you'd see him up on the top rope with his opponent on the outside of the ring, and he'd just do that diving somersault, and just, oh man, real cool stuff right there. Just awesome to see him do that. Sean Waltman was the heel back then, and he was trying to use the steel chair, and Jerry Lynn wasn't having it, and he was trying to use the ropes, and Jerry Lynn would knock his hand off the ropes, and that's what got AJ Styles to hit the Styles Clash and pick up the victory. So really good match right here. I would say that's probably the match of the night, and if you want to see this match, but you don't want to pick up this DVD, and I don't blame you if you don't want to pick this DVD up. You can get TNA Best of the X Division Volume 1, and I'm pretty sure it has AJ Styles versus Sean Waltman. Go look it up. Don't take my word for it, but go look it up. I'm pretty sure it has it, and it's just a good match right there, so definitely check that out. Next up, semi-main event of the evening, X Division Championship. The Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels, defending against P.D. Williams. And I really like this match right here. Not the match of the night, like I said, AJ and Sean Waltman was, but still a good match. I really like the build-up to this one, how Christopher Daniels called P.D. Williams a one-dimensional, wrestler with his finisher being the Canadian Destroyer. And this is similar build-up, I guess, when P.D. was the X Division champion in late 2004, and AJ Styles was the, challenger, calling him one-dimensional and whatnot, and these guys, they really put on a good match. They brought it to the outside. I felt like both of them really got a lot of really good offense. The thing about this match, though, is it was good, but it wasn't great. And I felt like they really could have clicked if they would have just had a series. Now, I can understand that since Bound for Glory is just a few short months away, you got to think about the build. You got to have that right. So, I felt like what they did at maybe they could have handled Sacrifice a little bit differently, but with the X Division Championship. But no offense to Austin Aries or anything like that. But you know what? I think if Christopher Daniels and P.D. Williams would have had a series of matches, they would have been able to click. Just like how Edge and Eddie Guerrero had a series of matches in 2002, and then they had that no disqualification match on SmackDown, and you heard Edge talk about it in the. I think it was Eddie's DVD. It might have been Edge's. I don't know. I got them all over there. And, they just said they finally had that match and they clicked. And, that was when Eddie got that standing ovation, even though he's the heel. I'm not going to talk about that, but, how did the match end? I think it was A1 that handed P. I'm pretty sure it was A1. Forgive me if I'm wrong. He handed P.D. Williams a chain, to clock in, to hit Daniels in the face with. And Daniels actually had a chain of his own. Daniels clocked him in the face, beat him to the punch, literally. And then hit the BME and successfully defended his championship. So cool match right there. They just didn't click like I wish they would have. So I wish they could have had a series back then. Maybe even a rematch at Sacrifice. That would have been cool. But who knows what Austin Aries would have done. So I don't know. Maybe he could have had his match with Roderick Strong then. I don't know. I shouldn't talk about that. Next up, main event of the evening. NWA Championship. Raven defending against Abyss. This was a dog collar chain match, so they're wearing the chain connected at their necks, and really cool match right here. I really liked how, even though Raven didn't have the longest NWA championship reign, I really liked how it was just handled while he was defending his championship. He got to defend against Abyss on this show. The next month he got to defend against Rhino in a hardcore match that really delivered. So both of these matches I thought were good. This match right here really had like 3 phases to it. You had the first phase where they were in the ring, and it was real hardcore. They used the chain, they used steel chairs, they used a stapler, and this is where the audio cuts out, and this kind of made me mad. I think it was Abyss that got a dollar bill stapled to his forehead, and I wanted to hear the crowd's reaction. I wanted to hear, maybe, I don't know, Abyss's reaction, something like that, but there was no audio for right around a minute, something like that. But that's the only time the audio cut out for the whole show. So, if you're thinking about buying this DVD, don't worry about the audio throughout the whole show. It's just for that, short minute. It's actually a long minute if you're chilling watching the DVD. But, that was cool. Next, they bring it up to the stage for, like, kind of the next, phase of the match. And they have a couple of tables set up. And this really didn't work too well in my eyes. The stage is like 6 feet tall, 5 feet tall, something like that. Abyss and Raven are standing up there exchanging shots. Abyss takes a shot to the face and falls back off like the stage and goes through 2 tables, and there's like no impact, but a couple of tables break, so you'd think, oh yeah shit, and then since they're connected by the dog collar, this I thought was really cool. It didn't work out that well as you'd think it would on paper, but I just like the idea of while Raven's up there after he just knocked Abyss through the tables, Abyss uses the chain and pulls Raven, and he goes off the, stage and goes through a table himself. It really didn't, come off that well, but still a really cool idea. That's when they both bring it to the ring, and God, like James Mitchell, I think he kicked ass. I thought, he was really good for Abyss on the mic, just his little antics on the side of the ring and everything like that. Just James Mitchell kicked ass. He did a good job in this match too. And what's his name? Cassidy Riley. If you don't know who that is, that was Raven's kind of follower at the time. He was, kind of younger. He was in, pre-show matches every once in a while in TNA. He'd do the the taunt and everything like that, and you know, he tried to come to the rescue for Raven, and he took a table spot. Oh, he took a bump. It was sick. You definitely need to check that out. They brought the thumbtacks out. Abyss got power bombed into the thumbtacks, like, you know, kind of like how he was. He went for like you know, the punches in the corner, and Raven just slipped down and, you know, power bombed him into the tacks, and he actually kicked out at 2 right there, which was crazy. The match kept going. Abyss hit a black hole slam, and Raven kicked out, which I thought was awesome. And then match kept going. Raven hit the DDT on the thumbtacks, and the match was over right there, 1, 2, 3. So Raven defends his championship. Really cool match right there. Without the, you know, table part, I thought it was a good match. And you know, after the match, Raven defends his championship, and, you know, like I've been saying throughout the night, Jeff Jarrett talking about Rhino. You know, we know Rhino's in the building. Where is he? You know, Jeff Jarrett's worried about him because we can't have all these new superstars coming in and taking my job. Because, you know, I like the story, and you know, you see Jeff Jarrett come into the ring, and Raven's looking at him, and Jeff Jarrett's like, Raven, turn around, and he turns around, and Rhino's in the ring, and he gores him right there, and you see Jarrett and Rhino are on the same page, and I kind of like the way that those two were booked. You know, a sacrifice with Rhino picking up the victory, and you know, getting the title shot at Unbreakable. I thought it was really cool for Raven's title reign. You know, just a really cool show right here. I don't know, something about 2005, I really like it, and I've just been getting the shows again. So, you know, if you're an old, I don't know, I'm just kind of a weird mark where I wish this would have been that old copy that would have had the, you know, the pre-show on it. But I guess I'm not tripping so much that I take it back or complain or anything like that. You know, it's still a good show. It's still got 5 good matches on here, 4 good matches and an alright match, and a couple, I don't know. But yeah, so that's my review, and that's my review. Alright, thanks for watching, y'all. Peace out.